thanks for tuning in. I'm Ann Powell with the WJTS News. The man pulled from the Ohio River in Warwick County on Monday has been identified. Officials are not releasing his name and are working on notifying the next of kin. A tugboat operator reported a body in the water near the Newburgh Dam on Monday. An autopsy is scheduled for Wednesday, March 10th. Officers do not believe foul play was involved in the death. If anyone has information about the case, please contact ICO Central Dispatch by dialing 812-837-9536. A French Lick man was injured after a fiery crash in DuBois County on Monday. 59-year-old Barry Nicholson of French Lick was driving southbound on US 231 just south of Hayesville when he drove off the roadway, hitting a tree. His truck caught fire upon impact. Nicholson told police that he fell asleep when driving. Several people stopped to help Nicholson get to safety and called 911. He was taken to Memorial Hospital for non-life-threatening injuries. US 231 was closed for a little over 1 hour while the scene was cleared. Nicholson's truck is a total loss. Multiple scams are making their way around Davies County. The Davies County Sheriff's Office says that the scams have had the same theme. The scammer says that they are an officer with the Sheriff's Department or even a federal officer. They then tell you that you have a warrant out for your arrest and demand that you pay the entire bond or a portion of it over the phone. The Sheriff's Office and the federal government does not call and tell you that you have a warrant and will never ask you to pay a bond over the phone. Other scams involve receiving a check in the mail for various reasons. They ask you to cash the check and send back a portion of the money. Do not cash the check and throw it away. Never give out any personal information on the phone. Hang up the phone and immediately block the number. 2 Lagodi residents were recently arrested on drug charges. Sheriff deputies executed a search warrant at the Lagodi home last month. Deputies report finding a small cooler containing several precursors known to be making methamphetamine and methamphetamine. 39-year-old Joy Grace and 34-year-old William Ray Bradley were both arrested and booked into the Martin County Security Center for possession of precursors with intent to manufacture methamphetamine. Grace was also charged with possession of methamphetamine and maintaining a common nuisance. A Louisville man is behind bars after a traffic stop in Gibson County. 22-year-old Christopher Campos was pulled over on I-64 for following too closely on Monday. After smelling marijuana coming from the vehicle, Gibson County Sheriff deputies searched the car and report finding over 19 pounds of marijuana. Campos admitted that the marijuana was his and intended to sell it. 2 children were also in the vehicle at the time, and one of them was not wearing a seatbelt. Child Protective Services has been notified. Campos was booked into the Gibson County Jail on a $2,500 bond and charged with a felony count of dealing marijuana over 10 pounds. An Evansville woman was arrested over the weekend after starting a fire to a house in Elberfeld. 39-year-old Jennifer York was arrested at the scene of the fire on Saturday. When crews arrived, they found her inside the homeowner's car, attempting to leave the scene. The homeowner's cell phone, cash, and a collection of oatmeal pies taken from the home without permission were also found inside the car. York initially told investigators that the fire was an accident and was caused by cleaning liquid igniting on the stairs. After further questioning, she allegedly admitted to setting the home's basement stairs on fire. She also filmed the event and intended to share it on social media. York is being held in the Warwick County Jail for arson and theft on a $7,505 bond. The recent warm and dry weather is posing fire dangers across southern Indiana. Officials say that the dry weather could cause a small fire to quickly grow out of control. The Martin County Sheriff's Office says controlled burns can spread quickly in the current conditions and is asking that the public do not control burn at this time. Crawford County has issued a burn ban prohibiting residents from any open burning. A new program is coming to schools in Crawford County. The Sheriff's Office recently launched the Best You Can Be youth program to bring local law enforcement officers, schools, and other community events together to educate children about safety, good decision-making, and drug prevention. Sheriff deputies recently visited South Crawford Elementary School to talk with students about the dangers of social media and bullying. The department says they hope the program helps build trust in the community and support the pursuit of education. The Martin County Health Department is getting a limited amount of the Johnson & Johnson COVID-19 vaccine. If you're 50 years old and older and would like to get the Johnson & Johnson vaccine, you can call 812-247-3303, extension 101 to make an appointment. Those who receive the dose of another brand of the COVID-19 vaccine must receive the second dose of that same brand. State health officials say the coronavirus is starting to fade in Indiana. The State Department of Health yesterday reported the 7-day positivity rate of just over 3%. The state also reports that half of the counties are in blue, which is the lowest category for tracing the virus. The last time the state's deaths and new coronavirus cases were this low was in April of last year. Du County is asking for input on bike trails. The county recently released a survey called the Bike and Pedestrian Master Plan this month. The survey asked the public to share their thoughts about county designations, future bicycle and pedestrian routes, and their safety concerns. Filling out the survey will help the county understand how the public views current bicycle and pedestrian facilities and routes and how they want them to change in the future. To find a link to the survey, you can head to Jasper.gov, Indiana's Facebook page. A hiring event is coming to Du Bois County this week. Mailin Cabinets Incorporated is hiring for 80 production associate positions at the Ferdinand and Jasper facilities. The positions are full-time and have a starting wage of $14.57. The hiring event takes place on Thursday, March 11th from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern Time at 624 West 3rd Street in Ferdinand. Candidates can apply for the night shift production positions at the Ferdinand facility and should expect on-the-spot offers. For more information, you can visit the Mailin Cabinets Facebook page. A voting rights group is asking the U.S. Supreme Court to consider its lawsuit that aimed to make mail-in ballots available to all Indiana voters for last fall's election. Attorneys for the advocacy group Indiana Vote by Mail argue that the state law allowing no-excuse mail balloting by those 65 and older infringes on the constitutional rights of those younger. Indiana mail-in voting law limits such ballots to those who meet several reasons, including traveling or working throughout the election day voting hours. An attorney for the group says the voters between 18 and 64 years old are still seeing their constitutional rights violated. There'll be a lot of eyes watching people who come to Indianapolis for the NCAA tournament, and a lot of them will be watching to see if they are wearing their masks. Indianapolis Mayor Joe Hogsett yesterday said that the city is adding cameras and public safety ambassadors as part of the city's health and safety plan. The mayor is also encouraging people to use the Relay app to report incidents downtown. The mayor says the hope is to make Indianapolis as safe and healthy as it can be for college basketball fans. And stay tuned, your weekly forecasts and sports with Kurt Guxell are still to come on the WJTS News.